This guy's name is, the aesthetics of this guitar was built by Kyle McKerney.
I was in CJB3 one semester. So there's a difference between me and John Kreisberg. I remember going to...
I think there's a difference between him and everybody.
There is, John. It's not fair, man. They got nominated for 2 Grammys the year you were in there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a surreal kind of experience.
Hello, and welcome to the Blue Couch. Have a seat. We're already sitting, so we're all set. Okay, so I want to start this one with 2 funny stories. The first story was you told me about you did a podcast for your buddy. Now, who was that?
Steve Wiest.
Right, and you recorded for?
An hour and 8 minutes.
Hour and 8 minutes. And then at the end...
There was no recording.
He didn't push record.
No. So we had to do it. We did it twice in the same day. So all the questions were pretty stale the second time, but
yeah,
we got it done.
And so we had a funny, similar story. These little lapel mics we're using, hello, are really amazing, and they're also a little annoying because when you push record, it's hard to tell unless you do the old, is the red light on? And I see my red light's on, and my voice probably got a lot louder when I looked down at the mic. So Ryan and I did an episode a few weeks, filmed it in this very room, on this very couch, and then I got the audio into the computer, and somehow it got turned around, so every time you thought you were pushing record, you were pushing stop, and vice versa. So I had all the in-between stuff.
Sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. I should have been the one. I've since learned when you push record, it buzzes once, bzz, and when you push stop, it buzzes twice. Bzz, bzz. So now we know.
Now we know.
These are growing pains. These are the growing pains of a new podcast. So we're going to act like this is all just super fresh.
Okay.
With a sharp 9 chord to start us off. No, but I wanted to talk. So the 12 nominations for Guitarist of the Year for the CCMAs. That's amazing. And you won twice.
Twice, yes.
That's really dope.
Yeah, I've never needed to win anything. And truthfully, I never accepted either one of those awards because I was gigging.
Right.
So I wasn't
like a working musician, like a
there.
typical working musician.
But as long as they keep, nominating me, that's the biggest honor for me because it means that you're still doing something worthy of being relevant or
I
being
agree.
recognized.
That's so cool. And I was refreshing on your bio on your website today, and then 2 Juno nominated records that you played on, Gord Bamford and I'm going to forget this.
Brett Kissel.
Right. Now, am I getting my names confused? Is he the one that built this guitar?
No.
What's that guy's name?
This guy's name is, the aesthetics of this guitar was built by Kyle McKerney, a fantastic
I was way off with
country
that
artist that I love him to death. He's such a great artist. He did all of this distressing work, and then the person who actually put it together, I don't know. I don't know who that person is. I never
Maybe
met
it was
them.
Brett Kissel.
It could have been, yeah.
I don't know why I remembered him as building that guitar. I just didn't remember the other guy's name at all. Well, that's why we're doing this, people.
It's okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. 2 Juno nominations. And then the final bit of cool bio stuff, not the final bit, but another really notable thing is the 1 O'Clock Band. Named so because of that's the rehearsal time?
Yes, there are 9 bands listed from the 9 o'clock all the way to the 1 o'clock in varying degrees of difficulty. And when I auditioned at North Texas, I didn't make a band. Like I didn't even make the 9 o'clock. They put me in a reading band, which is the guitar ensemble there, which was great.
Yeah.
And then the next year I made the 3 o'clock, and then halfway through that year I made the 2 o'clock, and then the final year I was there I made the 1 o'clock, which was the sort of premier band to make.
Yeah, like in at the University of Miami, it's called CJB1, so Concert Jazz Band 1. That was what Kreisberg was in.
Right.
I was in CJB3 one semester. So there's a difference between me and John Kreisberg. I remember going to...
I think there's a difference between him and everybody.
There is, John. It's not fair, man. Yeah, like they got nominated for 2 Grammys the year you were in there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a surreal kind of experience. I even have a hard time recollecting what happened when we went to Los Angeles, because it was such a whirlwind of flying in, getting on a bus, security,
Going to the event.
going to 6 hours of the Grammys, which is 3 hours before the televised part.
Oh, yeah.
And then the televised part. And we didn't win either of the categories.
But you played on TV?
No.
Played for the show? Okay.
No,
Just
we
were
didn't.
there in case you won.
Yeah.
The one time that you were there for the award that was being given out,
Yeah.
the other two that you did win, you're like, I'm in LA at another thing.
Yeah.
That's
So
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm more than honored to be a part of that.
So great.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of illustrious people going through that program. Herb Ellis, Dean Parks, the brothers Bissonette,
Yeah.
and you.
Well,
No, wait, you told a funny story too about what do your friends say about what it's like being in that band? He gave you some advice.
Oh, my ex-teacher from the previous university was also a 1 O'Clock Lab Band member twice.
Yeah.
Kevin Brunkhurst. And he knew I made the band before I did. And he called me and he said, well, you're in a boat and the water's on fire now.
Yeah.
Oh. And he wasn't wrong. Like, it was, every day was,
man.
like what they say at North Texas, every day is an audition.
I can't imagine the
wrong.
reading that's required for that.
Funny story. When I was in the 3 o'clock,
Is this on?
Yep.
There, quieter. That's just a hum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
My friend Tim, who was in the 1 O'clock, amazing guitar player, amazing person. He said, can you sub for me on this date? And I was like, yeah, of course I can. Not thinking ahead, of course, that
What it was going to entail.
like, I didn't understand how crazy it was going to be. And
Oh,
so
man.
the way that band works is the director at that time, Neil Slater, the first song that he picked was the hardest song. It was a Matheny song
Yeah.
in multiple time signatures, all guitar.
Oh, was it The Way Up, maybe? One of those?
It would have been around that time period.
Yeah.
I don't recall. It was like 20 pages long or some stupid thing.
Oh.
And I opened it up. The folder was like this big, and he called like chart 2356. And I take it out and I go,
Ah, nuts.
oh no. And we start playing and I'm folding, or as the 1 O'Clock guys go.
Ah.
And he stops the band, and Neil, with his voice, he goes, can we try this again? Except Brian, right, new guy? Yeah. Can we try this again without you folding? Okay, 1, 2, don't
no.
fold. And he kind of did.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That
Ouch.
is harsh.
Yeah. It was like a whiplash moment. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not in Kansas anymore. You know?
No, man. And then, so was it better? Obviously. You got
It
through
was like the hardest chart in the book. And
Why would you do? Well,
that's the way.
That's what these guys
That's
do.
what the way they were like. You know,
Yeah.
there was a new guy. They wanted to like
yeah.
let them know that they don't belong there. You know.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Well, I know cats too that, you know, I had this bass player buddy when I first moved to LA. I met him. He was about 10 years, well, he's still 10 years younger than me. And he, just a fabulous bass player, upright and electric. And he was in the jazz program at USC. And as we started playing some jazz gigs around LA, he was getting noticed and he was getting hired by other cats. And, you know the name Ronald Muldrow? He's an LA guy. He's one of these
Maybe.
really killer brothers on just big hollow body, playing all the real classic jazz standards and standards. And he would not tell you the song. He would not tell you the key. Thank goodness I wasn't up there. But Ethan would just, he had such big ears that he would just wait and be like, oh yeah, this is, whatever, all the things you are. I mean, that would be almost easier. Some of the, you know, we played abstract versions of The Way You Look Tonight or whatever, and you just have to grab it. And then just hope that you know where the bridge goes. Like, you got some choices. Maybe a minor, one of the minor relative chords in the key, and hopefully it's not the bridge for Up Jump Spring.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
you know. So those were not the right chords, by the way. Internet, don't call me out. But yeah, it's challenging. And I played a gig once at much easier songs, country and rock and classic rock. And we were out in Laughlin, Nevada, which is Vegas for older folks, nice place.
Yeah, I've been
loaded
there.
with cigarettes, and really beautiful. The Colorado River running through there. Mm-hmm. I have a hilarious story about. So I get there, I'm playing there, and I'm like, oh, I got like 3 hours until downbeat. So I went across the river to Bullhead, Arizona to go to the Safeway and get, stuff for my room, snacks I'm going to need. I like chips and salsa late at night after the gig, get some beers for the fridge, wind down. Don't have to sit at the smoky bar and eat their fried food, right? And all of a sudden I look at my phone. I'm like, oh my God, downbeat's like in an hour. And I finish paying, I rush out to my car, I run, I get across the bridge, boop, and my iPhone goes bink, and I suddenly have another hour. Because 3 time zones meet right there.
Right.
So Arizona doesn't follow daylight savings time. Then you have Nevada and California. I guess it's 2 time zones. And I was like, I had a good laugh. I'm like, okay, I have plenty of time. But I was so scared. And then the band leader played piano and some guitar, but mostly piano. And yeah, he would his band, they had been with him forever. He would just start songs. It would be up to me to figure out the key. Yeah. The bass player was cool with me, so he'd be like, C. He started helping me a little. But on the first break, I said, hey, Neil, can you at least yell keys across the stage to me before you launch? And he's like, sure, man, sure. So the next set he goes, keys, and he starts playing. He yelled the word keys. I'm just like, wow, no help. Man, that's so really lame, buddy. But you know what? By day 5, because it was a long run, and it was one of those gruelers where you're playing from like 10 to 3 in the morning, 5 sets, 15-minute breaks,
Yeah.
But by the end of the week, I was hearing stuff so much faster because it's just a muscle that you have to exercise. Like, I try to transcribe as much as I can, but if you just sit and shed technique and chords and whatever, I don't know. Even if you learn, I guess if you're learning a lot of new material all the time, you're kind of doing it. But you have the luxury of pausing and rewinding. What was that chord, or where did they go there?
Right.
What was that voicing? There's something that happens when it's just going by.
Yeah.
And you have to latch on and grab it.
It's true. Your brain automatically adjusts, to trying to figure out what's going on, especially if you have to solo after you've just heard the melody one time.
Right.
It's like, well, what do I...
On rock stuff, I think the soloing is way easier because you're probably in one key. Like if I was just tasked with fills and solos, no problem. But when you have to comp, you better have the right chords.
Yeah.
That's why I play bass a lot for people. And all my friends that are laymen that know me as a guitar player, they're like, oh, well, bass got to be a lot easier for you to play, right? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You have to be on the one. You have to know the form cold or have unbelievable ears and know, right, I've heard this song 3 times in my life. I know the 4 chords coming. I know the minor 6. I know the flat 7 is coming here. If you have monster ears and perfect pitch, great. Good for you. You're probably going to be fine if you've heard the song, especially if it's a pop song you've heard a lot, you're going to be fine. But as a bass player, man, for me, I'd have to know the song cold or have to be really basic 1-4-5 and be like, okay, probably we're going to be pretty good on this one. It's challenging.
Like comping instruments like guitar and piano, if you take your hands off the instrument while bass and drums are still playing, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
But if they stop playing, the world ends.
And if the bass player plays a wrong note, everyone notices.
Yeah.
You can play a wrong chord. I played wrong chords in the studio that ended up as keepers because they're like, well, dude, it made this chord. And we really like it, but I was a whole step low, playing B flat instead of C.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, but you playing that against everyone else right at that moment, it really works. It's a happy accident. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I think I first discovered you, we didn't know each other, Instagram put you in my path, and I added you there and was watching your videos like, whoa, this cat can play. I wanted to talk about one thing that I remembered. You put it up as kind of a lesson or like, hey, try this. I've tried it with more and less measures of success, but that thing where you pick a key, like A, and you just play.
Oh, yeah.
Can you but yours was way more angular and cool. Where did you find that technique, or?
From my teacher, Fred Hamilton at North Texas, he studied in India every year. He would go, and
Amazing.
he has a book. Actually, I have it. It's about learning your major scales on one string.
Right.
But,
yeah.
But voice led. So, like if you pick an E string, pick the key of E. Obviously, the lowest note in the key of E is E. Then you play from the lowest note, etc. And the highest note is C sharp.
Right.
And you say the note names, and then you go up to F, and the lowest note in the F on the E string is E,
Oh, I see.
etc.
So you just do it for every key on one string at a time.
Right. So chromatically up
Ooh.
once, and then all the strings. So what it does is, like if you're in the key of A, most guitar players rely on
Yeah.
that, which I do too. Obviously, that's a thing.
A good scale.
But you can, once you do this kind of like naming the note names thing chromatically on each string, it takes forever, trust me.
Yeah.
You get to know, you get to see that scale on the guitar as not being necessarily part of a certain position, like putting your middle finger on A for A. That's a very typical guitar thing, or this.
Right. Or this.
Right.
Yeah.
So it changes it from being like, right, there's no discernible logic to that. Like it's just basically wherever there are notes in the key of A, you play.
Yeah, like a Holdsworthian pattern thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a similar thing. I came about that process in two different ways put together. So one was when I was really young. I don't know if my first guitar teacher at home that would come to my house had me do it, but I drew a guitar neck and I wrote all the note names. So I wrote the open strings, and then I wrote F, F sharp, G flat, G, G sharp, A flat, all the way, and I made sure that when I got to the double dot, I was at E again.
Right.
And I did that for every string. So that's kind of like the scale thing, although the scale thing is more intense, and it's better for your ear, I think. And then one of my other teachers in college would he called it a snake scale. So like you said, you go from the lowest note, let's say in G, start here. And then you shift.
Right.
So on, and then you get down here and you shift. All the way until you get to the highest note in the guitar for that scale, and that did the same thing for me. And then I started having like favorite positions to play. Like if I'm soloing in G, I might just start. I love this position around, and I think about that too. I try to teach my students that, where I'm like, think about this chord. This is just a C chord moved up to here. Or if you want, do a familiar shape. Take the D chord and slide it up to G. Think of that as your root. You got all this, you're able to make it minor. Yeah, I do that a lot, and with dominant stuff too. I'm thinking about this chord. So it's really cool, but I really love that technique. And you played something like an A after explaining. That's exactly right. You explained how you do every scale. I've got to try that too, because it's
hard, man. It takes forever.
Yeah.
I remember it just boggling my mind going, okay, key of A flat on the E string, lowest note is F.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
And it's like your brain just goes, nope, because you're used to just going, and it just doesn't compute when you're playing like a note on a string that isn't in that key. It's like your brain just goes, nope. Or if you try and do like F sharp on the E string, you have to remember that
that is the major
E
7.
sharp is the major 7, not F, right?
Yeah,
in that
I'll
key.
get you.
So it's like naming them and
right.
It's ugly.
And what did you mean in a voice leading way, just like that?
And the voice in a way that, in the sense that you're always taking the lowest note possible in that key up to the highest note possible. So for
Got it.
F sharp, E sharp, and C sharp would be the highest note, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, that's a bear, man.
yeah, and I remember him telling me that and went, oh no. And then he took it a step further. We played a blues, I think it was that week, like an F blues. He said, okay, I want you to solo, but I want you to solo only on these two strings.
Oh.
Which, ouch. Because,
Wow.
like, if you want to make the chord changes happen, you're doing a lot of that same string running, trying to figure out what the chord changes are. So you're going,
Yeah.
so you're trying to make it happen on two strings. It's really hard. But it certainly gets you to know your fretboard better than just like blindly playing the licks that you know for everything, because I do that a lot. I'll just throw my hands at the guitar.
Patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really a great one. I remember the jazz instructor at the University of Miami, Randall Dallahan. He told a story about, I forget who he was talking about, one of the jazz greats, not Wes, but some cat. And I guess he was playing the head for Donna Lee and broke a string and just shifted, didn't miss one note.
Wow.
Now that's
crazy.
a lot, because
that's a lot, is right.
Because that's a busy head, ladies and gentlemen. I never even learned it. I should go back and learn it, because it'll teach you how to play through changes just in and of itself. If you just learn all those things, and I'm sure they told you this too, to play a jazz blues in all 12 keys.
Yep.
So especially on guitar, it forces you to not, you just can't, if you're always in B flat. Well, if you're in, you could go to E flat and play the same crap, but that gets a little silly. So then you're like, okay, now I'm here in E flat, so now I got to think, or whatever. I'm not sounding very jazzy. It's sounding more blues oriented, but yeah, it's such great stuff. I need to get back to it. The only thing that I really do shedding over changes anymore is the iReal book. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
And I love, my favorite thing is like sambas, because they tend to have two bars per chord, a lot of them, because they're so fast. So you get to play quick runs and stuff, but you have time to sink your teeth into the chord before, because bebop is just chord. And that I definitely, at one point I did have giant steps memorized, I think. Still had to look at it sometimes, because I can't even get started. But once again, that thing we talked about earlier as we were setting up, if I could learn something note for note. Certain ones I've played with so many times, and I do have a playlist in my iTunes of about, probably it's more songs that I play with a lot, but about 10 of them I try to play with once a week, because even though I know them like the back of my hand, they get my phrasing right. One is like just the, because it's just such a perfect solo. There's not a wasted note. The other one is
yeah, of course.
And that one gets my playing going. And then like Steely Dan. So there's about, and then of course the Lukather one we talked about last time, Rosanna, the outro. And this is the lick that made me want to play bebop.
Yeah.
And then it's just so great. I remember they never played that part on the radio. They would fade out.
Of course.
Right before. And then I heard the record and I went, what is he doing? And it wasn't until years later that I probably learned it 5 years ago or maybe 10 now. And then just that's so cool because they're kind of playing a G7, and he plays, you know, F major triad, and that's just chromatic. And he's kind of back to G minor, and then he does that. And we talked about that too. That note, if you just play that over G, that's problematic.
Yeah.
But when you just go,
Right.
and then he does that, slides all those, that phrasing is so great. Even just the opening, starting with the major 6th or 13.
Yeah.
Then the minor, which is a lot of guitar players and people that I've taught and mentored, they're always like, how do you get out of the... Because like if you're playing and you're only playing, it's fine, it's cool. But mixing up that... Like playing the major 6th, instead of, like, this is a lick I came up with to teach the very thing. So like 2 ways to play, let's see, I went, and then,
Right.
so right there, you have same exact rhythm, and you're playing G minor,
Right.
it's a fine lick, and then G major. And just doing that changes the whole world.
Yeah, you're changing flat 7 out for 6.
Yeah.
And
just big major blues.
Yeah.
Pentatonic, with the exception of that classic. Yeah, it just changes the whole thing. And if you use both, and if you hear really, really like sophisticated blues players, they tend a lot of times, like if you just, can you give me a G13 vamp? They'll stay in the really happy, and then go, and then you're like, oh yeah, right, there it is. And
Right.
so they'll actually flip it. They'll use the minor pentatonic sparingly, and then they'll use the major pentatonic a lot because it's just got that phrasey, happy,
Yeah.
you know, fits right over the blues in a great way. So
I think one of the, like when it comes to, especially guitar, this is a guitaristic thing, of course, when you're playing, when you're bending those notes, I heard John Mayer talking about this, about using the minor pentatonic in the major pentatonic position, because when you go to bend notes, you're bending different notes than you would normally in this position, right? So if you're here,
playing over G.
right? So.
Oh yes.
So,
I see.
So it's like it's the same notes as the minor pentatonic, but because you wouldn't normally do that, right?
Right. Oh, I love that.
So it's
That's amazing.
And I watched him play, and I'm like, yeah, that's
Yep.
yeah, he's killing it. Like that's
Oh yeah, that's a good one, man. Yeah, I was that's exactly right, because I was transcribing because I was in community college and I played a jury for one of my semesters, like a final exam, and I played Cruise Missile by Steve Morse, and he has this really killer lick. Was
yeah, he loves those repeated
chromatic, yeah,
stuff, and the like the
yeah,
those kind
yeah
of things, right?
And then the next lick is, so he's like doing exactly what you said. He's kind of in this minor pentatonic, E minor,
Right, but it's bendings in different spots.
bending in a weird spot. So he's doing that classic, like country thing, right? But he's just going. So 6 to flat 7. It's just so
Right.
great. And I don't know if I even transcribed it right back in the day. I probably did. Or I don't know what I did. Because I kind of seem to not remember doing that. And transcribing it now that I know more about the neck, I'm like, oh, that's really hip.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's a really great idea. I've got to steal that idea.
Yeah, I've been like, ever since you said that, I've been like, I didn't even think of that. Like, I might have done it somewhere on a transcription, but I never really thought to deliberately.
Well, because we would do this one, because it gives us... So that one's
Right.
pretty standard, but gives you that... The sixth.
Yeah,
You're bending to the sixth.
There's so many other options. When I watch him play, he'll be playing like a... You know, so he'll switch to this. So he's bending to the 4.
Yeah.
Which is a little hard.
Yeah. Love it.
So, yeah, it's been an eye-opener because I wouldn't think to do that, you know.
Dude, I always whenever I learn somebody's lick, whether it's one lick or a whole solo, I'm always like, oh, I never would have gone from that position.
Oh, every time if I turn on my phone in the morning, I look on YouTube and I go, what is this now? Like, there's always a new player that's doing something. I'm like, I don't know anything about this. How do I
do that?
You know?
Matteo Mancuso.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is
He's a
out of
crazy
his mind.
person.
And he's just so good at anything he touches. And he seems to have every style in every bag. Like, he's really great at jazz voice leading. And I saw him playing through the Giant Steps changes, and he was telling Rick Beato exactly what our teachers told us, is that you should be able to hear the changes in the line.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I can do that in a blues.
Right.
And so on, but man, he's running through Giant Steps and you're like, yep, there it is. You can hear the chords going by. And his chops are just ridiculous. I came across a video of him playing NAMM 2 years ago, and they were playing this really fast-ass version of The Chicken. And yeah, I mean, other cats have done it. It's like 80s rock energy with jazz blues licks over B flat by Jocko, the Chicken. But man, the phrasing was so dope and like killer. I'll have to show it to you later when my phone isn't being used to film us. But man, good stuff. So like such a brilliant player. And you're right. There's just more and more. It's endless. Like I go through my Instagram feed and there's just another 12-year-old guy, girl, they, them, doesn't matter. And everybody's great now.
Yeah.
And they're like looping the drums, and then they get up and they play bass, and then they play guitar and they start singing. And I'm like, you're 12. What are you doing? Why are you so good? You're creating a song on the spot.
Yeah.
It's bonkers, man. It's inspiring. On the wrong day, it can be really, you know, there was a time when it really got to me, and then I just started deciding to chime in and be super positive about anything I saw. Like, oh, you sound great. And it did change the way I felt about it. It made me more happy and like, yeah, how great that there's so many good players. And especially when you see so many troll, like there's always a troll or two or 100, and they rag on somebody for something ridiculous. And then you click through to them and they're always the worst. You're like, all right, you can't play. You sound like a
Yeah.
really bad.
Well, I get those a lot on my videos. I get people saying, this is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Oh my,
why do you bother? Nice. And I was like, and it seems like the more progress you get on your instrument, the worse that stuff gets.
Yeah.
You know, and I just kind of like, I leave it. I just like, well, whatever.
Hey, it's that time in the podcast, and I have to say, cheers. Thanks for listening. I got a blue mug, I got a blue couch, got a blue ceiling. Everything's blue. Please like and subscribe and comment if you want to, because it really helps the algos and it'll help me keep bringing these amazing guests to you. All right. back to the podcast. It's funny. I saw a really funny video about a reel explaining about how, like, being okay and being fabulous to the average listener is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because they don't, like, somebody could just sing a song and they, you know, like, and they sing it and everyone loves it. And then I could play a solo over them in the living room, like, yeah. And they're like, wow. But then if I'm like, you know, they're like,
Yeah.
that's not impressive to them. They don't care that it's Scott Henderson's 5 idea that I stole and exploit for my own purposes when I want. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. And yeah, the troll situation, you know RJ Ronquillo, right?
That name sounds familiar.
He does demo videos, and he's really blown up at it. He toured with so many people too. Great player, sweet cat. He lives in Nashville, but he just found a niche. Like, I remember I just met him briefly. I think he's a Miami guy. I went to school down there because he seems to know a lot of Miami people. Mm-hmm. And he got out to Nashville and just started making demo videos. And, you know, there's a million cats that make demo videos, but something about RJ's delivery, his production value is off the charts, and he's a fantastic player. So now he's just is blown up. And he's one of those people that will call out trolls once in a while. He'll just for fun, he'll put up their comment and a link to them. And I remember that there was this, because RJ has a bunch of tattoos. So, but this guy was like, yeah, maybe if you didn't have all those tattoos, blah. Like, just calling him like, that's all you got? And then I clicked through, and this guy was hilarious. He was playing some crazy metal machine and trying to play stuff like, but sounding like that. I can't do that really fast cross picking, and neither could he. And he just said, like, and it made me realize, right, the trolls are always the ones. And it's kind of cool because in the communities now online, more and more people are just supportive, and I'm hearing comments about, like, where they don't call out the troll and just troll him or whoever's trolling. They just say, yeah, you know, good players don't have to say what you're saying because we all celebrate other good players.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the bottom line. Because if I was going to either troll or be sad about Chops, I would see the ending you worked up for Devil Went Down to Georgia, and I'd be like, well, all right, that's enough guitar playing for this lifetime. But I don't. I was like, man, that's wicked. And I remember your video. I remember the development of it, because you put up some videos like, I'm going to try to come up with this cool ending, because you were tasked. I guess you guys don't have a fiddle in the band, or
it was Denis at the time, Denis Dufresne, fantastic fiddle player. He went on to other things, and we wanted to keep playing it, so I had to come up with something. And like the fiddle lines in that song are not really conducive to guitar playing because it's tuned differently.
But most of them are not. Yeah. And they do the same thing with us. I had a fiddle player double me on some track I did years ago, and she was like, "Ugh, you guitar players." Yeah.
It became like I learned the gist of it, and the ending of that song, we knew we needed something that was going to be flashy or whatever, and it took a while to work up with the metronome. And then every night I was terrified because I knew I'd done something that I may or may not be able to pull off every
Painted
night.
yourself into a corner, did you?
Yeah. And we used the I'm not sure if this is the right term or not, but the harmonic minor blues scale.
Yeah, so it's in E minor.
D minor.
Oh yeah, that's right, D, of course. And so for the ending.
Yeah, so it's basically.
It's
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I found that when I was playing just like normal harmonic minor, I ended up getting like the wrong chord tones on the wrong beat. Like, because when you play, like, you get, like, if you're doing eighth notes for A7, F is not an A7.
No, that's
Now
a
there's
very
D.
Unless they're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they're not. In
Which,
country.
so I end up, another Jonathan Kreisberg plug, just so you know.
And this is over.
Yeah.
Can we play that together?
Sure.
At this tempo? 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I guess it's in what do I play it in? It's in 16th note triplets.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
that's why it didn't work out. So
Okay, let's play it nice and slow.
Okay.
Try it again. 3, 4. Yeah.
But at tempo of the song,
So what scale? So what are we doing there?
so basically it's like a harmonic minor scale, but you're adding.
Oh, right, a little like the jazz blues, or is it? That's it.
That's like
And the only reason they did that was so that they could play eighth notes one after the other and land up on the right beats,
Right.
like you said.
And I wanted that sound over G minor. So when you do it this way, you get A, G, E, C sharp. So you get that sound instead of going like you get the wrong notes on the wrong beat.
Oh,
Not
man,
the wrong
that's
notes,
cool.
the other notes on beats, I guess. And I remember seeing Jonathan Kreisberg play, and he was playing Windows, and he started off with let me see if I can do it here. B minor. He went.
Oh.
And I went, what the heck was that? Because it sounds like harmonic minor, but it's not quite.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at his fingers and going, okay, let's just put that on quarter speed.
Yeah.
Going.
Wow.
And I went, of course that works. But I didn't remotely think of that.
That guy, he's so free when he plays. It's just his evolution has been incredible too. Because I think we talked about this last time. I remember first hearing about him because we both lived in Miami. So everyone was like, you got to hear this guy, John. So at that time he had a band with Brett Simons, I think. And it was like either hard rock or heavy metal or just the 80s sound, right? And so his crunch tone was amazing. But I was like, yeah, whatever. I'd like to hear his clean sound. And then the bridge comes up and this like Holdsworthian stereo clean comes on with these amazing chords. I'm like, all right, well, once again, it's been nice.
I quit like every bar there.
Yeah, I quit every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, something you said about being scared to death of what you wrote reminds me of in a converse way. Because Jimmy Herring's right hand is just whatever, man, how. And Jonathan Kreisberg and I actually met Jimmy. Aquarium Rescue Unit played in South Beach in the 90s at a place called the Stephen Talk House. Very cool room, intimate, small, big enough to be loud, small enough to be just, you could be right in front or just anywhere in the room and you're close enough. Right. Two things happened that night that were funny. One, Pat Metheny was there for some of the show. And he left early, but I don't think it was because he didn't like it. It just was probably too loud for him, the volume issue and the Marshall amp and all that. So then afterwards, me and John and I totally bum rushed Jimmy. It was, I think, the first time I met him, or maybe the second time. And we're like, man, Pat was here. He goes, oh man, Pat Metheny was here? Oh, that's terrible. Like, he was bummed. And we're like, no, dude, you crushed it. He's like, well, I guess. Like, he was just not happy.
Yeah.
And I get that. I totally understand. And then we were like, so, dude, how do you... And he plays very interesting. He holds the pick not unlike Pat. Pat holds the pick with two fingers, but he uses a light pick, and so he bends it.
Yeah.
And that's how Pat holds it.
Yeah.
Jimmy just holds it, the pick regular, but he holds it with two fingers. And his pick hand looks like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, so his chops are just unreal. And so we said to him, me and John looked at him and was like, how do you get your right hand like that? And he goes, oh man, these guys count these tempos off night after night. What are you going to do? And I looked at John and we looked at Jimmy and we go, fail. We're going to fail. Because, they're playing songs like, I don't know, they have just you know, these tempos were, you know, like this Latin feel, and it's super fast, and you're just like, wow, I don't know how you're, you know, and I think Fixing to Die is it's just kind of a, but it has a real cool turnaround, right? So 1 flat 7 6 2 5, and then they would go to that for the end of the turnaround. But, and man, that was the first solo I ever heard. It's called Fixing to Die. It's off the first live album, just called Colonel Hampton and the Aquarium Rescue Unit.
Okay.
And so I didn't understand anything that was happening on the record, because first there was a mandolin solo, but it was electric single string mandolin, so no drone strings, and it was this guy Matt Mundy, and I'm like, what is going on? Because the tempo was super hyper, and this guy is just playing out on a mandolin, and then Jimmy comes in with his opening lick to the solo. It's just this juggernaut of bluesy, jazzy, bluegrassy goodness with a crunch sound. And it was funny because my buddy Reese gave me the CD for my 24th birthday, and it was, you know, my birthday night at my folks' house, and you know, it's the end of the night. I'm in my room with my then girlfriend, Sorry. And I put this record on, and I promptly got out of the bed and sat on the edge of my bed for the whole record. And by the end of that, we were both exhausted and we went to bed. So no birthday nookie. Sorry to be so overshare much? Yeah. But it was hilarious because I was like, what is going on? Because it's like this post-Dixie. Have you heard much of that stuff?
No, and that's my favorite reaction when it comes to all art, like whether it be movies or music or whatever. It's not laughing or sadness. It's that look of people going, what am I looking at right now? Like, what am I hearing?
Right.
What is going on?
Like seeing a Salvador Dali painting for the first time,
Yeah.
or hearing The Rite of Spring. You're just, wait, stop everything.
Yeah.
What is going on? I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, man, that's really cool. And so you've made, how many records have you made?
On my own, 4.
That's amazing. And 3 of them, like, you said the last one is called Country, and it was a departure. What were the other, are they all stylistically a little bit different in their own rights?
No,
or?
the previous 3 were all the same kind of...
Funky fusion.
Yeah, like, nobody knew what to classify it as, because I said they were jazz music, because when I went to and played jazz music at North Texas, we played those songs. That's where they came from.
Right.
So people would say, well, it's not jazz, or I entered the last jazz record into the Junos in the jazz category, and they've messaged me back or sent me an email saying, our panel of jazz experts has classified this as popular music. I'm
Pop. Because in jazz, they just want to expect to hear.
Yeah. And I was like, so are you telling me Bill Frisell is not jazz?
Yeah.
Because,
John Scofield is not jazz.
Like, I don't, so I didn't question it. I went, okay, fine, put me in. Of course,
Mike Stern, like it goes on and on.
And like anytime, if you play a Telecaster, anytime you use the bridge pickup, you play one of those chords, you go, oh, no, that is not jazz. You know, and it's like, okay, well, a lot of American guitar players who play Telecasters that what they're doing isn't
Yeah.
jazz.
Once again, Mike Stern, Bill Frisell. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's endless. And what about Wayne Krantz with a Strat?
Yeah.
That's not jazz. That's some of the heaviest jazz ever.
And I said you have to submit a song, right? Like you get song A and song B, I think. So they do a preview of each song. But I think I know what happened is they previewed song 1, and song 1 is the first song on the record, and it's a cover of You're Always on My Mind. But it's in 7, and it's got a metric modulation in the first 30 seconds. But if you don't get past the 30 seconds, it sounds like a popular music record because it sounds like... And it becomes that. And if you don't get past that part, you don't get to the jazz part. So I think that's probably what happened is the listener went, oh yeah, it's a shuffle. I get it. It's fine.
I'm kind of sick of the whole genre, like post-sub genre. Like, Metal ones are the funniest, but those are just comical to me because I saw a breakdown of metal genres and the tree. It was a whole show that this guy did explaining metal, and he traveled all over the world to see Norwegian death metal and versus Norwegian black metal or versus, I can't even remember the names of all these things. Metal, thrash, and death metal are just three main headings. And then he drew this tree out, and I'm like, that's absurd. I guess, sure. I mean, it makes sense. And I'm sure that he could point out those differences. Like, see, these guys aren't using the chunk the same way. They're doing this weird thing that's only they do in this region. I guess it's like accents and expressions and all of this. But nowadays, we're so, genres are so blasted wide open that everyone's doing everything and adding everything into their style. I mean, the record we just released with Danita, Large, it's kind of all over the shop. There's a ballad with just her and I, and it starts, it's like... And she sings over it, and it's just gorgeous. But then the next song on the record is a cover of Run to the Hills.
Yeah.
And then we have some blues on there. And so, I don't know, I think Jimmy Herring's, maybe it's his second to last record, or maybe it's his latest one, because he kind of got really busy after it. He's done also at least 2 or 3 solo records. One is called Lifeboat. That may have been his first effort. And then Subject to Change Without Notice is amazing, because it starts with this like brushes on the drums and really hyper tempo minor blues, but in the style of kind of Django, even though he's playing electric guitar. It's like a gypsy jazz song. And then the second song is this gorgeous ballad, and it just goes from there. And there's just and then there's straight fusion rock or funk fusion, if you want to bastardize that term some more. But yeah, it's really cool. At the same time, some of these subgenre titles are hilarious to me. I wish I could remember some more of them.
And the example I always give is, sorry if anybody's hearing this, but because I'm a country musician, everything gets labeled country now. And if you try and dispute that, people say, well, no, it's country. Okay, so what exactly are we defining as country?
Anything with a fiddle.
Right, and that was one of the points that came up was like, okay, and I've played on a lot of country records, and the point I always make is like, if you sound like Johnny Cash, like if your music sounds like that genre, and you entered, I don't know, a heavy metal festival, and you said, I'm heavy metal, they would listen to it and go, no. They would say, no, you're not. Right? Whereas in country, we get away with like everything from super loud Les Pauls playing power chords to R&B to hip hop to, and they all say it's all country. Well, then what is country if you include all those things in it?
Right.
What actually defines country? And we had a big discussion about it. And the 2 things that we came up with was lyrical subject matter.
Yeah.
And song form.
Nice.
Because I got a bunch of records that I played on where the song form was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
I know this isn't right. It's 5.5 minutes long, and it's got 3 bridges. And like I'm like, this is not
progressive country.
Yeah, this is not country, but you can't tell anybody that these days. And it's sort of a point of contention that people will probably smash me on the internet for this, but that's the reality. Is just putting the steel in your song isn't enough.
Well, see, you apologize ahead of time. I'm just gonna call out, who was Shania's husband? Is Mutt Lange, right? That guy?
Was, yeah.
Yeah. He single-handedly, with her, invented bro country. Now, it wasn't bro country because she was a girl, but that record with the... was basically pop music with fiddle and twang, and then that opened the floodgates. All these LA producers ran to Nashville and were like, we got to do this too. And then, now you have the Jason Aldeans of the world. No offense, buddy. The tracks themselves are usually great, but they just... I think Bo Burnham, the comedian, said it best. It's like this Mad Lib where they just fill in rural adjective, as long as you say truck and beer and tank top and slat over here and whatever, all these, and they're made by millionaires who sing about towns that they would never go to. They wear $3,000 boots that have never seen mud. And so, we have this subgenre of bro country. Now, like the Keith Urbans of the world, stadium country or whatever is also questionable, but at least the guy can really play.
Yeah.
And he writes some nice ballads, and he writes some good songs. But yes, your point is so valid, because what we have to do, because it's not country, we have to keep hybriding the word. Oh, well, this is pop country. Oh, well, this is bro country. Yeah. Well, this is country rock.
This is hip hop.
Whereas, thank goodness for guys like Paisley who can fiercely play and still make country sounding albums that have the right instrumentation, because I would add instrumentation in there to what you said. I think you're closer to it by saying it's song form and storytelling. But I think when you have telly, steel, fiddle, acoustic, and a rhythm section, it just sounds like country. Because and I think that genre peaked in the 90s with bands like Garth's and Paisley and people, and a million others that we don't even know the names of all these side people that made that stuff great. Steelers and then you got the bluegrass guys that are bonkers, like the Ricky Skaggs of the world.
And what's weird is that when I try to force my instrumental country music on people, they're like, well, you're not an artist though. And I was like,
yeah, that old chestnut.
So me writing all of my own stuff and arranging string parts is not artistry?
No, you didn't even need a string part. All you need is a song.
Yeah, and so that kind of became the point of contention. And what I noticed from going to things like the CCMAs or the CMABs or what are those, the thing I always looked forward to the most was when everything was over and you had about 3 drinks in you, you grabbed your acoustic guitar and you went to the lobby of the hotel, and there was a jam where everybody played old Merle Haggard standards and Buddy Owens was there.
That.
And now there's nobody to be found, because nobody that's actually on those shows, knows more than 5 country songs. Like if you ask them to be, from memory, play a 45-minute set of country covers for a gig, they can't do it.
Right.
There's a few exceptions. I know who you are. You know who you are. But
I could do the old ones.
Yeah.
I could do, and because everything was different back then.
Yeah.
Like Tulsa Time sounded nothing like.
Yeah.
All these were unique. Now every song is some kind of. So it's either 1 5 6 4 or 1 6 4 5 or 1 4 6 5. I can't keep track. All the intros sound the same. Yeah. I mean, in LA, I had this problem where because people saw me playing in 2 different country bands at one point, but both played mostly old country with just a few bro country songs to shut people up, just enough to make people go, "Oh, they're staying current." That was it. And the rest was all old. And so guys from other bands that played mostly bro country would call me for gigs and be like, "Oh, dude, don't worry. You'll know. You play with the Merchants of Moonshine and Brian Lynn. You'll know all the songs." And they send me the list. I'm like, "I know 10 of your songs, dude, out of 40. I'm not learning all these intros. And like, if you want to give me $300 for the gig," they're like, "I can't pay you $300 for a $100 bar gig." I'm like, "Well, that's how long, that's the kind of work I'm going to have to put in, because I'm not a great reader. If I could write out all these stupid intros from these dumb songs, I guess it's still better than flipping burgers, but wow, it's soul-sucking, man. I can't hang."
Yeah, I noticed, like, when I have my guitar case with me after some show was over, if there was some, people, I don't know, around my age that were sitting strumming an acoustic guitar in the lobby, they go, Brian, come and play Bandy the Rodeo Clown." you know, and nobody knows that song. So
Right.
they said, well, he'll know it. And we start playing, and of course, 2 hours would go by and it'd be 3 a.m.
Yes.
But it was so fun. And now I miss that. Like I miss anybody, to me, I think knowing cover songs in the genre you're supposed to be nominated for, like if you're getting nominated for, I don't know, country artist of the year or male artist of the year, female artist of the year, you should be able to play cover songs in the genre that you're playing.
At least a couple, at least some really important ones. Yeah. It's like knowing, exactly. If you're going to play in a jazz quartet that you're leading or even playing in, you better know some West solos. You better know some Charlie Christian. You better know the roots stuff that led up to it. Because I was playing the blues, and then my roommate at the time made me realize that I didn't know enough of the classic guys. Like I knew who Albert King was. I knew who, obviously B.B. King everybody knows. But I wasn't that familiar with any of their songs besides what I might have come across on the radio or in popular, everyone knows Thrill Is Gone, of course. But when I really got into Albert King and heard all these deep cut tracks, and that famous lick he always plays. Every solo, but it's always great. It's always just right in there. And blues, when I heard Blues Power, I realized where Stevie got everything from. All that. All that stuff. Oh, I probably caused some clipping over there on my little computer.
It's all right.
But yeah, speaking of playing, we're going to take a minute because I need to use the washroom. TMI. I love the TMI thing. It's just my jam today. And then we're going to come back and play one of Ryan's songs off his album, Country. Don't go anywhere. Okay, folks, we're back, and we're going to play a beautiful little ballad from Ryan's record, Country, and the song is called...
50s Country.
50s Country. All right, count me in, son.
I'll give you a 3-4, I guess.
Sure.
3, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2.
That little Dickie Betts ending. That was beautiful, man.
You as
God,
well.
you play nice stuff over that. Woo! Some of those bends. I'm gonna go learn all that. Stealing.
Steal away.
Steal away,
That's
baby.
what they're there for.
What is that? Good musicians borrow, great musicians steal. I mean, I stole all my stuff.
Me too.
That's all, like, it's all derivative at this point. People get sad when you say that, but, you know, we're standing on the shoulders of the greats, and everybody did it. You know, when Pat came out, they were like, oh, you sound great, but you sound like Charlie Christian. And they said that to Wes. And then when Pat came out, he sounded just like Wes, because that's all he transcribed. And then he became, I don't know, Pat Metheny.
Yeah, he's his own thing.
He is a whole nother level. Yeah, that show was great. So I popped down to Chicago to see the Side Eye Band now, and they're up to 5 people. And I mean, Joe Dyson might be one of the best jazz drummers right now going, as good as anybody. And Pat always has the best drummers.
Yes, he always does.
And if you ever notice, he always stands right next to the drums.
Yep.
And they have a whole thing, and they did a just the two of them track. I think it was Round Trip Broadway Blues, but they also kind of did a version of, you know, Off Ramp.
Yep.
That crazy, like just avant-garde, I guess, if you will. Yeah. Kind of a throwback to his days with Ornette. But well, that's going to do it for us today. I think we got some stuff done.
Yeah, we got a lot done.
Nice song. Talked about a lot of stuff. We'll have Ryan back on. And until next time, we'll see you on the blue couch, baby.